Hello, everyone. Welcome to, once again, another Thursday night live stream where we go over the teams, except this ain't any normal week. This is finals football, baby. And if I'm this excited without the Bombers involved, imagine what would happen if we were in. Let's just forget about what I just said there, because Essendon and finals don't go very well together, as we all know very well. So here we are, guys. How we doing? Hope everyone had a lovely Thursday. Let me just get here. Finals week 1 team sheets. Get that going down the bottom. Hope you all had a lovely Thursday. Looking forward to talking some football back in the country now, to look and see how awesome it's going to be to see some finals football. It's going to be a cracking match tonight. I've got Dave over there from work. He is going to play. He's not going to play. He's going to go watch. It's going to be an absolute blockbuster. Poor Noble. We all saw the footage. I'm sure a lot of us would have seen. Noble was dropped from the team for Collingwood, and everyone was getting around him. You gotta, it sucks. You gotta just feel for the guy. And yeah, as much as I completely despise Collingwood, you gotta feel a bit sorry for a team, for a player who is, Noble's been a great role player for the Pies this year. He's been sensational. Would love to have him with the Bombers. And so for him to miss out, geez, that was rough. Causa, can't wait for AFLW teams. Yes, that is also going to be on the cards. We've got a lot to look through, a lot to look forward to tonight. How's it going, Causa? Shannon, can't wait for the finals to kick off tonight. Neither can I. It's going to be insane. I missed the last 2 rounds of the football season because I don't care about that. This is where it's all about. And it's going to be cracker. Jen, how's it going? How you feeling for tonight? What is your prediction, Jen? Are you going to the game? Please let us know what's going to happen, because my word, it's go Pies. Of course you got to say go Pies, but honestly, it's going to be an absolute superstar cracking game. Collingwood versus Melbourne. Last time you guys met, King's birthday. I'm sure that game is going to be looked over meticulously over that break, because this is a massive match. They both play the MCG really well. The weather looks dreadful. What does that mean? What does that mean for this matchup with the poor weather? Who knows what's going to happen? I'm pretty sure Melbourne don't like the wet, so it could be in Collingwood's favour. No day cost, no Noble. I'm watching at home, unfortunately. Done my ankle. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Jen. Hope you have a really speedy recovery. You better be feeling pumped. I don't remember the last time I felt pumped for a final series with Essendon being involved. I've been going in with, whenever we make finals, there's never been a lot of great optimism. You should get over the line. Well, we shall see. We shall see. Let's just share screen and get the AFL website up. There we go. So, there has been a mega preview for the Pies and the Ds. I haven't had a read through this. Done 4 hours ago. It is because Melbourne are up. Obviously, Collingwood are a threat, right? Collingwood for the flag. A lot of people thought Collingwood was simply going to rock up. They were unbeatable. They were killing it. And they finished top of the ladder for a reason, right? Because they're a gun side. But Melbourne, you can't count Melbourne out. And if they're able to get this win tonight, then all of a sudden the reality is these guys are up to their eyeballs, the Demons. We can't discount how good this team is. They really are one of the best outfits out there. And look, Causa's tipping the D's 6-10. I'm tipping the D's by 7. I've tipped the D's by 7 points. I don't know. It's gonna be tight. I reckon Bedford in now has Giants. Yep, correct. I've tipped the Giants with the Bedford news. I think he was always going to get off the way they treated him and 2.5 hours. Gee, that was a long deliberation. But yeah, I agree. I reckon Bedford it makes a massive world of difference for the Giants. So, I mean, yeah, Melbourne's late season form was terrific. They should have beaten Carlton. That ball was not touched. I don't know what they were talking about. That ball was clearly not touched. And really, the Pies haven't been great. They got a 70-point win over us. And let's be real, the Dandenong Stingrays could have beat us in that last round as well. So, look, we were a tonic. We were a magic tonic. We turned Carlton's season around. After we beat Carlton, they went on that massive streak. Who knows? Maybe after this one, Collingwood might have found their mojo after beating us. So I guess we'll see. I mean, wait and see. Is there a way to see what do most people say? If I say Melbourne, do I get what's the results? All right, so Collingwood by people on here, 54% are backing in Collingwood, 46% back in Melbourne. That just goes to show how tight of a contest it is. And that makes the best finals football when the game is super close. Demons end of September well placed. They won 7 on the last 8. They'll be without Melksham, though. Melksham's been huge. Jakey Melksham, obviously an ex-Bomber. I got massive respect for Jakey there. He's been sensational for Melbourne. Him out, he does a great job as a defensive forward. So him not being there to take away, to maybe play on more or something like that, is going to be a big out for him. Collingwood will gain Darcy Moore and Murphy back. And look, I think Jeremy Howe's probably going to be playing defensive forward. I think Collingwood need Jeremy Howe to play defensive forward on a lever to try and take away his intercepting ability. I think that probably might be the thing that they've got going for him is that Melbourne's forward line isn't the best. So they probably don't need Jeremy Howe in the back line. I think he's going to be better suited playing forward where he can keep a May or a Lever really engaged. So let's see. Talking about the Collingwood's defense, Melbourne's attack, though, has been a problem. So, look, I don't think it's going to be a big problem. Big week for Darcy Moore, returning from a hamstring injury. He's a pretty important in for him. Depending on the weather, though, it could be difficult to see him dominate the game. If it's going to be really wet, it's going to be hard to take intercept marks. I think the Smalls are going to have to get to work here. Cozzy Pickett, absolutely super important for Melbourne. And if this guy can pull off, this guy's capable of just taking over a game and winning it off his own boot. This guy is so incredible. I'd love to have Cozzy Pickett in my team. Bloody hell, he's so good. And if he can keep himself engaged in the contest, get his hands on the ball. Would you look at that? Melbourne by 7. That was exactly my tip. Oi, Hippo. Let's go, man. I can't wait either. This is going to be so good. My God. I've tipped the D's by 7, and then I read this article, and they've also predicted Melbourne by 7. So maybe the stars are aligning. Who do you reckon wins tonight, Hippo? I'm super bullish on your boys. The Blues going to get it done. I think that's the most confident I am. Out of all the games, I think Carlton winning is my certainty, I think. So, look, I reckon the Demons get this one done. So, I don't know. Let me know, guys, in the comments. Who do you reckon will win this game? I personally think it's going to be the Demons in a really close one. I think Noble is a pretty big out for him. Meanwhile, I think for Melbourne, losing Jake Melksham to injury is really bad. So that sucks. Hibbert comes in, experienced head. He's got some wheels on him. Tom McDonald, versatile player. So Daniel Turner was obviously going to get dropped. Was going to make way. Gee, Ginnivan dropped. You'd think so. Not surprised there. Frampton's been dropped. Of course, he wasn't going to survive long with Darcy Moore coming back into the side, Murphy coming into the side. So they're playing a bit tall with Darcy Moore and Nathan Murphy in the back line, considering that it's going to be wet. It's an interesting decision to go tall in the back line when they don't have a lot of big, dangerous key forwards either. So it's an interesting strategy that Collingwood are taking into this game. I can't say I 100% agree with it. Sort of makes me feel a bit more confident about my tip. Noble, of course, is the big omission. Poor guy. He's been sensational. No way to myself the vanilla players. It seems we're all on the Melbourne by 7. We're all on the Melbourne by 7 wavelength here. So you watch Collingwood come out and win by 40. It would be insane. But look at they're really good. They have cracking close games. You got Melbourne by 4, Collingwood by 7, Collingwood by 26. The last 3 games that they've played. So look, they certainly know how to have great games against each other. First versus fourth, it's going to be great. Looking forward to that one big time. Have they got anything out for the Carlton and Sydney game? Nothing as of yet. But look, I reckon Carlton, I think, should get the job done. The big question mark is whether or not they should be playing too tall, because considering Sydney don't really have a lot of big key defenders. So, look, this might be the game Harry Mackay comes out and just tells everybody, that's it, guys. No mucking around. I deserve to be in this team, and we're going to win it. Hey, Dan, Frio Tragic, how's it going? It's going well, man. I am so hyped. I'm so pumped up. Can't wait for these games. What I would give to see Melbourne win and Collingwood lose. Oh my God, please! I want to see Collingwood lose so bad. But bias aside, this is going to be insane, and you can see how tight it is. Dan, who are you tipping for tonight? Look at that. Sportsbet got them both $1.90 each. You cannot separate these two teams. A lot of us, Dan, are going Melbourne by 7. That exact margin. Let us know. Who do you reckon wins tonight? There've been some big movements, some big changes to the lineup. When you look at Darcy Moore in, Murphy in, McCreery in. This guy is one of the most underrated players in the league. He gets some attention, he gets some recognition, but Melbourne by 7. Don't tell me that's your bet. Are you tipping Melbourne by 7 as well? No. Really? Freaking everyone's tipping Melbourne by 7. What is going on? This is bizarre to me. I've never seen I have not seen a game with such consensus before ever in my life. That is bizarre. But McCreery's so good. And in these conditions, I reckon he's going to have a major part to play. But exactly, man. Surely not. This world's a simulation. 100% hippo. Like, I don't think I've ever seen a game where so many people, objectively, independent from each other, have all tipped the exact same result. I've never seen that before. Ever. Wow. That's ridiculous. How's the AFL fantasy team going? Look, it's not too bad. I mean, I got some work to do. I'll just quickly flash it here for you, Dan, because you missed it. So, look, my ranking is 33-11. Not the best, not the worst. I've made some changes. I want to get rid of Puller. I want to get rid of Thomas to get Evans and Priest. I like to look at both of these fine young women. And then I got rid of Paxman in order to facilitate those moves to get Luke in playing as a ruck for the Hawks with a really low break even, looking to make a lot more money. So that's probably what I'm doing heading into this week, Dan. Pretty happy with those moves, but of course it's not the best. McCreery named on the ball. Thoughts? Look, mate, that is super exciting. I love to see it. If I was to compare the midfield's Collingwood to Melbourne, I can't help but feel that Melbourne's midfield is better. But Collingwood's big problem has been the reason why they've lost their games is because they've lost in the contested ball and they've lost territory to those really good contested sides. And we saw that especially against your mob, Hippo. The way your midfielders at Carlton just hunted them and won the contested ball, and it just suffocated them. So when you look at the contested ball winning ability of Collingwood versus Melbourne, you can't go past Melbourne because they've got some absolute bulls in there. In Clayton Oliver and Petrarca. These guys, and then obviously you can't forget Viney, who's a gun. They've got people that can just win clearances like no one's business, and it certainly helps when you're getting tapped down by Maxi Gorn, right? So I think they had to do something different. They have to inject Bo McCreary, who has good size in terms of strength. He's got great strength and speed. So having him bursting out of the midfield, maybe you would even have some sort of rotation with Jordan De Goey to always have that striker type of player. I think they need to do that in order to at least try and break even in the midfield, because I think they know full well that if they lose the midfield battle, they're going to lose the game, especially in these terrible in the wet we're going to see tonight at the MCG. Field position is super important. So I think they recognize that. I think it's a smart move to put McCreary on the ball. The question whether or not he'll be able to sustain it for a full game, I don't think he's ever played this role before, but they'll probably manage his minutes and sort of swap him around with De Goey as a resting forward, perhaps. So I think this was a smart move. I do think it's a smart move. Is it a bit of a gamble? Yeah, only had 10 CBAs for the whole year. Exactly. So there you go. So it just goes to show that this is an untried sort of thing, but they have to do it, Hippo. I think they've got no other option other than try and introduce some more speed and explosiveness out of the midfield to try and combat Melbourne's dominance in there. If they can break even, then I think they'll go a long way to helping them try and win this game. But yeah, tipping Melbourne for this one. Petrarca to kick the sealer after Pies get within 1 point. Oh, that would be so good, Dad. I'd love to see it too, man. I'm keeping Bowers too. Yeah, I think she's just too good. No, too good not to have. No Nick Dacos, no Pies. Yeah, he's a massive out. He is absolutely a massive out. So, like, you can't... This guy was in everyone... Like, you know, everyone had him as a lock for the Brownlow medal. How many teams can survive and win a premiership without a Brownlow medalist basically on their team? Like, it's massive. He's a massive out. So Pickett best on goal, 4 goals plus. Ooh, big call, guys. You heard it here first from Dan. If you want to chuck on some sneaky money on there, if you're going to gamble responsibly. But yeah, 4 goals plus for Pickett. I'm not against that, Dan. I'm not against that at all. I was just singing his praises before. So yeah, like I was just not sure if it's one of those BS team sheepers and they never actually play there. Look, yeah, if they don't stick to that, then it's like, really, bro, why? Don't die wondering. You have to. I think they have to do it. I think they've got no choice but to do it. From what I've seen from Collingwood, they've been really honest and really transparent, even with their injuries. Like Craig McRae would just come out and say, "Yeah, this guy's not playing this week." You know, like, they've been really honest. They've been really transparent. That's probably one of the big things that I've really admired about the Pies. They haven't been doing any sneaky, shifty business in terms of like hiding injury news and things like that. They've tended to be pretty forthright. So based on their track record this year with how they've presented their team and things like that, I'm willing to believe that if they've named McCreary on the ball, that they're likely going to play him there. It's not going to be anything affecting Melbourne's decision-making. Melbourne's going to go in with their best midfield mix. Whatever they name here, it doesn't matter for Melbourne, because Melbourne are going to back in this insanely godly trio. You know, the trinity of the midfield. Gorn, Oliver, Petrarca. You know what I mean? So this was always going to be on the cards. They don't care what Collingwood decide to do. So there's no real mind games to come here. If Collingwood name him there, I reckon he'll play. And if he doesn't, then I think Collingwood would really miss the trick, and they really need to get that done. So when do AFLW teams drop? I think it's a good question, when do they drop? So let me just see if I can pull up the AFLW website. I know it's going to be on Thursday. Let's see if I can bring this across to here. Do we know when the teams drop for the AFLW? This will be the first time reacting to lineups. Nothing here. Nothing just yet. I think it might be same time as the men's. which would probably be about 6:20, I think, Hippo. Unless anyone can tell me otherwise. I think it's at normal time for the AFLW. Yeah. So, all right. So a lot of us are tipping, I think, same time as men's, on your Causa. But yeah, so I think we're all tipping Melbourne to win this game by 7. Super exciting. Can't wait to see that happen. And then I think a lot of us are probably going to back Carlton here. Does anyone in the comments think Sydney are going to beat Carlton at the MCG on Saturday? I on Friday, I should say. I don't know about that. I think obviously we haven't seen the team. There's no team lineups just yet, but I just can't help but think that Sydney's backline is going to be incapable of handling all of the firepower in the Carlton forward line. And I think they're relying on too few in the forward line. I think Carlton's backline has absolutely straightened up. They've become very hard to score against. And I don't think McDonald as a spearman in the forward line for Sydney is going to be good enough to break through that defense. So I think it's going to be a pretty comfortable Carlton victory, to be honest. I don't know. I reckon Carlton win this by like 20 points pretty comfortably. I can't see Sydney really making a dent into Carlton's side. The way they're playing, I wouldn't look too deeply into what happened in the final round of the season against the Giants. Carlton had already cemented a top 8 spot, whereas the Giants had to fight their asses off and get the win in order to get into finals. So Carlton clearly weren't playing at full strength. They clearly didn't have all their players in there. And they had one eye. In fact, they probably had both eyes firmly fixated on this final series. They haven't played finals since 2013 when we were kicked out. They didn't even earn that finals berth in 2013. It's been a long time since Carlton played finals. And so I can completely understand and actually agree with them when they've been preparing for this final series. So I can't see Carlton losing this, to be honest. Dan, Poppy Bolts, rookie named if you need an AFLW defense. Yes, Bolts was actually in my preseason team. Dan, I just wasn't sure if she was going to be named, and she wasn't named in round 1. I hope she can. I hope she doesn't play this week. I'd love to see her named maybe next week as a potential person I can downgrade to. So yeah, but Poppy Bolts is definitely one to keep an eye on. 100% agree with you there. Yeah, I don't know. Anyone think that Sydney are a chance to win this game? I personally don't think. I don't think they really do. I think it's just Carlton by how much, really. We then come to, obviously there's no team sheets for this one just yet. It comes out at 6:20. For people who are new and didn't catch the news, Bedford has been released. Bedford is going to play in this game, and I think that him playing again this week, I think puts the Giants over the top of St Kilda. I think St Kilda, look, they haven't gotten as much respect as they probably should have this year for them to. I don't think they've ever dropped out of the 8 all year. I don't think they dropped out of the 8 all year. I think so. Very consistent. They started off the season on fire, managed to hold on to clinch their spot in the 8, first year under Ross Lyon. But I just think the Giants play that running game. They are so hard to stop. It is overwhelming how great they are. So, oh man, the Giants. I love what the Giants have done this year. I think they've come out on fire. They've had some teething problems early in the year, got them fixed, and now they're just absolutely flying. And Kingsley has done a terrific job at the helm. He's clearly showing that he was the right guy to lead this team. And I love what they're doing, the Giants. So yeah, I'm going to back the Giants in to win this game, to be honest. Happy to be. The thing is, I've never gotten a St Kilda tip right this year. Every time I tip St Kilda, they lose. And when I tip against them, they win. So, look, I've just given up on St Kilda, to be honest. And a complete enigma to me. Sydney upset. Carlton may choke. Look, that's true. They may choke. But to be honest, I think from what I've seen from Carlton, they've in the back half of the year, I think they have convinced me that they're capable, that this is a team that's probably not going to choke. They've been in some really tight situations. Collingwood started to come back in that last quarter against them, but they're like, nah, stuff this. We're not letting you do it. And they kicked away again and just dominated the game. They obviously had to hold on for the win against Melbourne. Probably should have lost. That was not a touch. That was not a touch. That was absolutely a goal for Petrarca. But look, they still managed to hold on, and a win is a win at the end of the day. So look, Carlton have managed to, in really high stakes situations, have managed to come out. They almost lost to Gold Coast. That was a danger game for him. It looked really bad, but they came out of the clouds. And that's what the good teams do. The good teams just find a way to win. I think Carlton have convinced me that they're not going to choke. Obviously, there's possibilities still there, but I've been convinced from what they've shown me. I don't think they will. Bolts named on Twitter. Ooh, there you go. So that is really exciting news. So, all right, I might have to... I don't think I can get her this week, unfortunately. I think I have too many problems on the field that I have to fix before I can get Poppy. So maybe Poppy might be an acquisition for me next week, Dan. After she gets a price rise, hopefully it's not by too much. But yeah, anyone think that the Saints will beat the Giants? I personally think the Giants are going to win this game. I think they're going to be a bit too good for the Saints, who have been very respectable all year. I got to give them their props. They've been great. And then Brisbane at home against Port Adelaide. Look, I just think Brisbane at home are so hard to beat. Like, Brisbane's record at home is just ridiculous. It genuinely is a fortress. And they beat the crap out of Melbourne when they went there. They beat the crap out of Collingwood when they went there. Brisbane beat really good teams there. So I don't know. I think this is probably the best position that Brisbane have been in for a long time. And obviously, whilst we don't have any teams right now, I just think Brisbane at home could be too good. Rich announces retirement. Everyone's super emotional about that. Want to probably get the win for him. I don't know. I think at the Gabba, Brisbane, it's hard to go past them. Even though Port Adelaide are really good at travelling, they got a great travelling record, I still can't help but feel that Brisbane, they're sort of managing themselves really well. I think they're doing what they need to do. I think they've been very professional this year. I think the Brisbane Lions get the job done. I think that's what happens. If I was to then go to the ladder, and if what comes to pass as we all predict, which is a Melbourne by 7, a Carlton to beat the Swans, the Giants with Bedford to win, and a Brisbane at home, we'll end up seeing in what would probably be one of the biggest games in the modern era. A Collingwood-Carlton semi-final. Wow. I almost want this to happen exactly just to see what happens next week. A Collingwood-Carlton semi-final would be ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. My word. Now, and there will be a packed-out MCG. That will be a packed-out MCG. Not a single seat will be left empty in this final. That would be huge. And then Port Adelaide hosting the Giants. I think in that case the Port get the job done. But mate, what a tantalizing week 2 we'd have. And Melbourne hosts a preliminary final, and Brisbane would host a preliminary final. Whoever comes here against Brisbane, you'd probably back Brisbane to win at home. And so you reckon, Brisbane, if Brisbane get the job done here, they've got 1 foot in the door for the grand final. So massive. Oh my God, I can't believe what we got. We have so much in store for us. It is, oh my God, unbelievable. Who's this? Who's a forward who hasn't been? Moncara's been delisted. No. Oh no. Oh, he's returned to the Tiwi Islands. Oh, that sucks. Yeah, well, another one, unfortunately for us, another Indigenous player who doesn't work out. Damn, that sucks. Someone for the AFLW has torn ACL. Kalinda Howarth will sit out the rest of the season after watching him. Oh, thoughts and prayers with Kalinda. Hope you come back stronger than ever. Great. That's unfortunate. Brisbane easy. Port's defense won't handle the Loins forward line. Port would need to win CBAs by a heap to get close. Yeah, I agree. It's hard to go past Brisbane at the Gabba. They're an absolute force to be reckoned with, to be honest. So, yeah, Brisbane should get the job done. This, pretty heavy favourites considering how close all the other games have been. I think the Lions are pretty heavy favourites there, and I think it's for a good reason. Their midfield mix is insane. That addition of Dunkley in there is ridiculous. Is absolutely ridiculous. So we're now at 6:02 p.m. Let's have a look to see if there's anything in the AFLW, any news in the AFLW world that we haven't heard of. Apparently the Dogs are going to bounce back. Well, we'll see. They got absolutely shellacked against the Cats last week. Milestones on reflects on the 50th game. Giants are going to bounce back. Gowan's comments hit hard. Who to buy and sell ahead of round 2? Let's have a look and see what they have to tell us. Chloe Williams a day ago. Stars performed, the rookies rose. While some premium players have coaches with holes in their wallets, round 1 is done, and despite some expected greatness, there were some unforeseen twists in the first weekend of AFLW Fantasy. Geelong provided the most value, with Prasparkas and McDonald among the top scorers. Bree Davey was also prolific on return, the highest rate player on the ground, despite facing a 42-point defeat to reigning premiers Melbourne. Collingwood walked taller with its captain in the side, and coaches who select Davey would also be feeling their posture improve on the back of a score of a 131. Insane. Tamara Luke also came back firing on the price increase of 182K. I would wait to see the impact of Lucy Wales' return before fitting her in, but being a ruck with forward status could allow you to reap the rewards of her around-the-ground impact alongside another ruck option. And that's what I was talking about in our live stream yesterday with me and Big J, that Lucy Wales is to return, so you can't expect Tamara Luke to continue to be firing all those big scores like we saw on the weekend. So, look, it's a bit of a gamble, but we're just looking to bank, get her in the side to make us some money before upgrading her to someone else. Carlton's debutants were among many who impressed, notably Mariana Anthony and Harriet Cordner, who scored 99 and 74 respectively. As the Blues came back to life under Matthew Buck, their newfound pressure saw Anthony record 11 tackles to accompany 14 disposals and a goal. That is super impressive. It just came out of the blue. She's too expensive now for me. The only way to get her in really is if I was to trade out Bowers, and there's no way I am doing that. Rising stars Ella Roberts and Ali Morfett also proved as valuable to a fantasy side as they are to their respective clubs, scoring 92 and 94. Bonnie Too Good got Essendon over the line, scored 103 while doing so, rising 89 grand. Kiara Bowers was a notable and budget-eating absentee with knee soreness, keeping her sidelines. She's worth holding for an expected return this week. That is, fingers crossed this actually happens. Really hope this happens. If she's not back this week, damn, that would suck so bad. Cool, what else is there? So the top 5 price rises came from Mariana Anthony, Tamara Luke, Bree Davey, Jackie Parry, and Neve Kelly. Top 5 price falls: Chloe Dalton, Moody, Foley, Gilroy, and James. You don't want to spend that much money on Moody to give you that poor score, especially when you had those rookie rucks do really well. The perfect pods: Whitford, Single, Shirar, Crockett Grills, and Mim Strom. Lucy Single is one that I would have loved to have brought in this week. Unfortunately, she's a bit too expensive, and I can't do Single, Priest, and Evans at the same time. I just can't do that, unfortunately. It goes without saying that you need to target Prasparkas, but who else's stocks are rising? Bree Davey, absolutely. Even at 1 million, she's continuing to rise. Be wary of a stronger matchup next week, though, if Bowers returns. So, she's playing up against Bowers. If Bowers isn't named this week, then I might just go Bowers to Davey, to be honest. As crazy as that is. Claudia Whitford. Was she the one that just did the ACL? Have I? No, sorry, a different one. Kalinda Howarth. All right, yep, it wasn't her. Someone else. All good. Claudia Whitford, catalyst behind Gold Coast near comeback. Whitford's work alongside Rowbottom will have midfield coaches on high alert fantasy-wise. So strong tackle and kick counts make her a great pickup. And Ella Roberts was great in the forward line. She's a 92. Very nice. I was very happy with that. Marina Anthony, a true surprise packet. Yeah, she's made up a lot. She's made up a lot of money. Only at 6.32% ownership. But she's up against North this week. And we saw North decimate St Kilda. So if she can back it up, then my word, that'll be insane. And Neve Kelly is a forward. Her role looks solid, gathering 6 clearances and 21 kicks from 28 disposals, which was sensational. So score of 95 in her back pocket. She's a bargain at 679k. So Neve Kelly is someone you can get in as well. Sell Eliza James injury. Chelsea Randell. Yeah, I was going to start her, but I managed to pull out last minute. Alice Parker has dropped a lot of money. Elizabeth Vale, 301k. Probably can't get in. Moody dropped a lot. Nat Grider, similar to Parker. She was outworked by Katie Brennan. So, yeah, who knows what happens there. So, this was a great article. I like that. Well done. Who wrote this up? Was very helpful. Thank you, Chloe Williams. That was a great read. Very informative. And, yeah. So, guys, you've got yourself a nice little guide here that we can see. All right. Any news, though, from the AFL side of things? Anything that we've heard? So, Bedford's a massive back for GWS. Also, Val got injured. That's why she should be a trader. Yep, exactly. And was a layout. Yep. Saints huge selection call with fit again defender to be left out. So Dougal Howard won't regain his place in the Saints lineup for their elimination final against GWS. I'm not against that, to be honest. He's been shaky, Dougal Howard, this year. He's had moments where things just haven't worked out for him. He's sticking with Zane Cordy. I think Zane Cordy has been very respectable. Hasn't really been beaten by anyone so far in recent memory. So I think Zane Cordy has certainly earned his spot in the side over Dougal Howard. So I like it. I like rewarding form, not just simply dropping someone for the sake of a name. I think maintaining what's working, rewarding the player who has been in good form, and really just taking your best team, not just on paper, your best team in reality as well. So I like that call by Ross the Boss. Well done. Cordy featured in the first 7 games after moving from Whitton Oval. So he's been quite good. Versatile 26-year-old. And despite Howard returning to full fitness, I don't know how much, he hasn't really played much football from his return. So I think it just makes sense for the selection integrity back in your team. Keep the consistency. Don't shake the apple cart too much. Just continue to play your best team with the good form. So Dougal has missed a bit. It was his wrist. Dougal really grew throughout the year with us. In fairness, Zane, he's had some good scalps and played well. And that's it. You just got to reward good performance. You got to reward, players like Cordy who do a role, and that's all he has to do. He simply has to play a role and not get beat. Bring the ball to ground and just do your best. That's all you can do. Up against the Giants, who don't have the best tall timber in the forward line. Let's be real. Look, I have a lot of respect for Jesse Hogan. I think Hogan has been really good, but in terms of the talls, that's not what kills you. It's the ground level that's going to really hurt, I think, St Kilda. Tobias Green is a freak, and Bedford is also really handy. So, who, as we all know, he has successfully appealed that decision, and he is free to play. He is free to play in the elimination final against St Kilda. So, big win. I can't believe, though, that it's taken this long for the appeal to be heard. That is very disrespectful to the Giants. They should have been heard last week. I have no idea how. There was no one available at all in order to hear this tribunal hearing and this appeal to this week. That is absolutely unbelievable. Just disgusting. Feel really bad for the Giants who have been left in limbo up until this point. Justice prevails, I think, for Bedford there in the end. Who's this defender more likely than not? Let's have a look. Sam Taylor is expected to be named, and I did see a video before of Kingsley when he was in the interview saying that he was rubbing Sam Taylor's hamstrings. That was really good. He'll face a fitness test. If he is remotely good to go, you bring him in. Just plain simple. This guy is too good not to play. Just stick him on King. Because if King doesn't score, if King doesn't fire, the Giants have got this in the bag. The Saints are going to really need King to stand up and be a king out there. Let's be real. If this, just stick him on him, negate him, and the Giants go a long way to securing the victory. So, has cruised through the main training session, but will still be monitored closely by medical staff and the balance. Oh, mate. It would be a shock if he's not named to play. Oh, yeah. Excellent. Very good. I love watching him play. He got upheld Tuesday and then another challenge. Bedford, that is. Yeah, but again, like, it shouldn't have taken so long in order for it to then get heard again, Causa. It should have been much quicker. The fact that no one was available is just simply not a good excuse, I don't think. I don't think that was a good excuse. I think it had to be done quick. He reserves the right to appeal, and it shouldn't have waited this long for the team to be left in limbo, to be honest. So, poorly run by the AFL. I have to say it. It's been very poor. Young gun Finn Callahan is also set to be named, but having missed 6 weeks of footy, his overall fitness may be assessed to determine if he's ready to be part of the starting 22. He's a good chance. He's done a 2-week block of training without any issues. I think he's fine. It's more likely he'll play than not. Ooh, another cool acquisition, because this Finn Callahan really is a gun. Absolutely. If not for him getting that shoulder busted up early in the year, he is a gun player. Absolutely. Clouding the Giants' final team selection has been the constant uncertainty over Toby Bedford's place amid an appeal for a higher bump in the victory over the Blues. The issue was still unresolved when the Giants match committee met to finalise their squad, despite the week off ahead of the finals. But that hasn't angered the Giants coach. To be fair, it hasn't been frustrating at all. It's the process, and we kept moving forward knowing it would be the case. It's not a distraction. Well done. Massive respect to Kingsley. He's handled it with grace, as he should have, really. If the Giants last attempt to clear Bedford fouls, it would be a severe blow, with his numbers proving he's one of the best pressure forwards in the game. But he is in. He is going to apply a lot of pressure, and I can see the Giants causing a lot of front half turnovers and getting the job done. I'm sorry to all the Sam fans out there. I'm pretty confident, I think. There's a lot of people out there that think it's a 50-50 or close to it, but yeah, if Sam Taylor plays, it's I can't go past. I have massive respect for the Giants. They've been so good in their in the back half of this year. You look at how they've played. Like they're I want their fixture. You look at how what they've done to turn around their season, and I can't believe they lost to West Coast. That is unreal. And it was a close loss there at Carlton. Close. I can't believe we beat them at this point. got the job done. Narrow loss to Brisbane. Got the job done against the Swans. Narrow loss to the Dogs. This was a disappointing game. Narrow loss to St Kilda. I think the Saints would hope that a repeat of this happens, but I think the Giants are a much, much more improved side from back then. They beat the Cats. They have a great record against them. Close game, down to the wire. Did well by Richmond there. Did the job against North. Smashed Freo. I watched that game. I couldn't believe my eyes. Great win against Melbourne. Melbourne probably should have won that game, but Giants managed to hold on. Important win against the Hawks. This was a great win, traveling to Adelaide in what was an upset. That was a great. I think Adelaide were red hot favourites to win this game, and what a performance by the Giants to get the job done there. And then smash the Suns. This was huge. It was again down to the wire at Mars, where the Bulldogs love to play. The Giants hate to play there, and yet they still managed to grind out a really important win. That was insanely good. Disappointing loss to the Swans, who were bloody crazy accurate in that game. Smashed by Port. I think they had a lot of changes to their team that week, the Giants. They then absolutely destroyed the living daylights against us. And then this was a game where Carlton weren't really focusing. But overall, it's been a very promising, successful season by the Giants. When they're on, they're almost unbeatable. They are such great fun to watch. The way they surge that football, I just think that surge is gonna be too much. I think for St Kilda. That's just me. I don't know what you guys reckon. If you guys agree with me or not on that front, but I just think that I don't know. I see more promise out of the Giants than out of the Saints. So we are really close to Teamsheets coming up. It's 6:18. We've got 2 more minutes to go. Let me know, guys. Yeah, still not quite there yet. Everyone agree that Carlton beat the Swans? Taking people's tips here. Anyone apart? I know Dan's tipping the Swans. He reckons Carlton can choke this game. I believe in Carlton, as crazy as that sounds. As a supporter, I've been convinced. Anyone else reckon that the Swans get the job done? I'm Team Carlton here for this one. Yeah, I'm backing Carlton to win this one, and I'm backing the Giants to win this one, and I'm backing the Lions to win there. So, all right. Getting a lot of notifications now all of a sudden. So, 6:19. Let's try and refresh this again. Let's see what we got. Any changes to this team still? No. Can we go forward 1 minute? Come on, it's 6:20. Give us the team. It's 6:20 p.m. Don't deny us the teams now. Come on. Let's try refreshing this again. Let's see. Carlton. Lineups. All right. Here we go. We got the lineups. Fisher dropped. Yep, that was what was going to happen. Paddy Dow, unfortunate to be dropped. Hollands dropped. And Durden dropped. Look at these ins. Look at these ins for Carlton. Oh, my God. Pitney, Cripps, and Doherty. They're going full guns blazing. And on the other side, Aaron Francis was the sub. Stevens has dropped. Fox has been dropped. Clark has been dropped. Justin McInerney, he's a handy in. Milliken's a handy in. And Papley is a crucial in for them as well. So, look, both teams are coming in with very solid sides. But come on. Look, this is probably the best looking Carlton side they have fielded in a long time. Honestly. Is this their best? Is this the best that they can field, do you reckon? Apart from Williams, obviously, who's got that ACL injury. But is this a full-strength Carlton side now? To Conning, Cottrell, Hewitt, Marchbank. You know, when you got Hewitt on the bench, That is a sensational. That's great. Walsh, Chera, Pitane, Owies, Kerno, Fogarty, Cunningham, Mackay, Martin, Doherty, Cripps, Akers, Saad, McGovern, Chincotta manages to hold his spot in the team. He has been a bit shaky, I think, in terms of recent form. So he's managed to hold his spot in the team. Newman, Wiedering, and Kemp. This is probably the best looking Carlton team on paper that they have fielded in a long time. So just cements my confidence with these ins that I really reckon Carlton get the job done here. Melican, McCart, and Rampy. I mean, I just simply cannot see Sydney winning the midfield battle. Carlton's midfield is just going to be too strong. Wouldn't be surprised if they give Mills a tagging role at some point, a defensive role, maybe on a Cripps, perhaps, man up on him, and try and break even in the midfield. I think that is exactly what the Swans are going to hope to do, try and break even. I cannot see them winning the midfield battle. They can try and break even and hope that they can get some run out of the back line from Lloyd from Blakey. Florent also is pretty good at running. Who else is a pretty good runner? I think Melican's a great ball user as well. They're going to try and put Tom Papley to play maybe a high half forwards role. I think they're going to need Isaac Heaney to play forward. I don't think we're going to see a lot of Isaac Heaney in the midfield. Last time the two teams played, Heaney was more on the ball and Mills wasn't in. So this Mills in is a massive structural change from the last time these two teams played. But I just don't see enough threats in that forward line to really worry this back line. I think this back line is going to be too solid. Wiedering is going to probably beat anyone in a 1v1 situation. And McGovern's probably going to clean up in the air. So it's going to be tough. I just cannot see a world where Sydney beat Carlton. If things play out as they should, based on form and matchups here, it should be Carlton by 20 plus. That's just what I think. Definitely happy to hear other people's opinions on this, but I'm pretty confident in the Carlton win here. Cool. Saints v Giants. Let's have a look and see. Line up. Max King is in. Massive. Seb Ross also in. Really handy. Oh, yes. Callahan and Taylor are both in. Massive ins. Massive ins for the Giants. These are also massive ins for the Saints. So that's going to be huge. Stock has been dropped. Hayes is injured, unfortunately, and Burns was the sub. Webster playing 150. Battle playing 100. And Harry Himmelberg, Thor, playing game number 150. This is such a strong team fielded here by the Giants. Oh, my God. How do you tip against them? How do you tip against this team? Buckley and Taylor, Iron, Whitfield, Himmelberg, Ash, Callahan on a wing, Kelly on the other, Green, Bedford is in, Riccardi, he's renewed this year, Brett Daniels, he is so underrated, this guy, he's insanely good, Lloyd, Hogan, Tobias, all-Australian captain, Briggs stepping down to Ward and Cogs with Cumming, Perryman, Keep, like this is such a great team. Honestly, the Giants are a great side. I'm sorry to say it. St. Kilda, you got your hands full big time this week. Well done for making finals, but I think it's a 1 and out. This team is just these acquisitions. They're just so good, just so good. He will battle hard. Wilkie, Cordy, Nazaya, Sinclair, Webster. Like the problem that the Saints have is that they're not a team of stars. They just don't have enough star power in their team. They're definitely system-based, and they're definitely well-drilled, obviously. Got Roster Boss as the coach. But when you've got a good, strong coach, with talent, it's hard to go past that. And I think Adam Kingsley has shown that he's capable of implementing a system, and his team is well drilled as well. Plus, it is stacked with talent. The Giants for me. I just don't know how the Saints beat the Giants. They're going to have their pressure game up big time, the Saints. Because that's what you're going to get from the Giants. The Giants are up there. One of the best pressure teams in the comp. They will create so many front half turnovers. And even when the ball is in the back line, they've got such great players there. Himmelberg, very good. Taylor, the best. And then you've got Buckley, also really respectable as a lockdown defender as well, and doesn't give away many free kicks. And then you've got these defensive midfielders in Whitfield and Ash that can run off halfback as well. So they've got obviously Josh Kelly, who's just the Ferrari, the way he just freaking waltzes around. Finn Callahan's a sensational winger on the other side as well. It's gonna be insane. I can't wait to watch this game. I don't know if you guys can tell. I love the Giants. They're probably my second favorite team after the Bombers, and their song is the best. There's a big sound. So yeah, I'm backing the Giants here to win this game again. Maybe 20 plus as well, to be honest. Am I disrespecting St Kilda? Maybe you might think so, but I think it's just a point of me just having a tremendous respect for the Giants. They have lost so much talent over the years, and they continue to still show up. They are that good. We get to the last game of week 1 of the finals. We look at the Brisbane Lions hosting Port. Only one change for the Lions. Lincoln McCarthy is back in. He is really important. He is another great small forward for him who can play tall because he can fly for marks. Great goal smarts. And Jared Lyons has been dropped. Unlucky for him. Look at that. Charlie Cameron, 200th game. Murderbach, Take Me Home. And then you've got Jack Payne playing his 50th game. Great role player. He's been terrific for him. Meanwhile, on the other side for Port Adelaide, Scott Lysette is back in. Todd Marshall is in. And Mackenzie is also in. Boak has been dropped. Travis Boak has been dropped. Wow, what a time to be alive. Unbelievable. Evans dropped. Hayes dropped. And Jonas is injured. So, look, some important ins. Really important ins for Port Adelaide. Probably one of the best sides they have fielded in recent times. They've had a lot of injuries, a lot of turnover in their team, haven't had much consistency. So with this team, the way they're going in, they've given themselves every opportunity to get the dub here against the Brisbane Lions. I just think, though, at home, Brisbane are going to be too good. Charlie Cameron is going to probably light it up again in game 200. So yeah, backing in the Lions. The Lions will probably win this game, maybe by let's say 15 plus. I have a lot of respect for Port Adelaide and the way they go about it. They're very hard nosed. They continue to fight. They don't give up, and they are also supremely talented with some great players. Butters. You don't have to look as far as Butters and Rosie and winds them on the ball will be important for him. Sam Palpepper is just a wrecking ball. And Dan Houston deserves to be an All-Australian. So, yeah, some good players there. But I just think overall, in terms of the well-oiled machine at the Gabba, it's hard to go past the Brisbane Lions. So that is that, guys. Let me know if you agree with this analysis. Alrighty. Bowers named. Let's go. All right. Bowers has been named. So we'll start with the matches. We'll go to the fixture. And we'll start with the first game, Richmond against Adelaide. The lineups are in. No late changes at all. This is the team as they stand. Really? Doesn't show the ins and outs? Is that how they normally show it? Let's look at the next game. Lineups. No late changes. Oh, come on. Really? Does that mean there's no changes though? All right. I guess that means there are no changes. Everybody is still the same for Richmond and Adelaide. Interesting. Sure. Monique Conti still there on the ball. Gabby Seymour still there. No changes there. Najma Allen. Chelsea Randall in the back, half back. Chelsea Bedell there. Adelaide still have Marinoff on the ball over there. And Hatchard in the middle. So, yep. All the important players that we want, that we know and love, are where they are meant to be for Richmond and Adelaide. The next game of the season, of the round, Suns and West Coast. No changes to the sides here either. So everyone should still be where they are meant to be played. Lauren Bella is the ruck. Charlie Rowbottom is there on the ball, which is really important. Where is Single? Where is Single name? Single's name on a wing. So that's something. And then on the other side, Charlotte Thomas is named at half back. Ella Roberts is named in the middle. So there you go, guys. Ella Roberts named in the middle. If you haven't got her, and she's in our forward lines, guys, I reckon she's really important. I think you need to have her for that price. Too good. Emma Swanson on the ball. Everyone already knows that. Jono, how's it going, mate? Sorry, I've missed your messages. I've been overseas. I'm back now. Good. Very happy. Very excited for tonight. Good to talk to you and to see you, Jono. Hosking is in Sarah. Talking to Sarah. Okay. Cool. So there is that then for those teams. Get the next game, Port Adelaide against Brisbane. Let's have a look. Lineups. Again, this is annoying. Are there really no changes? You know what? I might just go back to the news, and the news might probably tell me in a better way. Teams are in. Thanks, Sarah Black. So Kiara Bauer was set to play her first game of the season, while Richmond star Elliot McKenzie and young Melbourne forward Megan Fitzsimon will miss through injury. Fremantle superstar has been named on the field for the Dockers' Sunday clash against Collingwood, with Nikki Neald and potential debutant Jay Flynn also named in the extended squad of 24. Goal of the season winner Ashanti Bush will play her first game of 2023, coming in for Kalinda Howarth, who ruptured her ACL at training this week. So this is Ashanti Bush for Gold Coast. How much does Ashanti Bush cost? Let me just pull this out here. And let's search for Bush. Ashanti Bush is a 300k forward. So there we go. Ashanti Bush is someone who is a rookie named. There you go. So that's really exciting. Coming in for Kalinda Howarth. Opponent West Coast has made one change, dropping Kate Bartlett for Emma Humphreys. Not sure how many people own Kate Bartlett. That seemed like news to me. Let's go back here. Kate Bartlett, 300k forward. No, I don't think many people owned her. And in her place, where's the article? There it is Emma Humphreys. So let's look up Humphreys. Emma Humphreys is a 403k forward. So she's not basement price. So probably a bit harder to trade her in this week. Melbourne speedster Fitzsimon was not on the D's injury list, and her back injury paves the way for one of Meave Chaplin, Charlotte Wilson, or ACL duo Gab Colvin, and Ree Watt. Mackenzie will miss, with Sarah Hosking returning. The Crows have gone for a smaller lineup, bringing in Jess Waterhouse for ruck Montana McKinnon. I don't think anyone has Montana McKinnon. Jess Waterhouse, how much does she cost? She is a 449k forward. Too much. Don't think she's going to be really relevant. Brisbane coach Starcevic has dropped Jade and debutant Ellis Smith with recruit Ellie Hampson and first game up Poppy Bolts coming into the team. So Poppy Bolts in the back line. She is a 306k. Yes, she is. 306k defender. She'll be playing the first game of the season. So very exciting for Poppy. And who else was it? Ellie Hampson. Ellie Hampson. Who is Ellie Hampson? A 760k midfielder. Yep, no one is going to touch her. Power midfielder Sashi Syme returns from suspension with Olivia Levicki making way. Lexi Hamilton has recovered from MCL, replacing Bella Smith. Did anyone own Bella Smith? No one owns Bella Smith, so all good. No problem there. Collingwood has dropped Erica Fowler along with the injured Eliza James. Imogen Barnett, Emily Smith, Liv Barber, Imogen Evans, and Charlotte Brown. Okay, no worries. Essendon has added last week's emergency to its extended squad. Hawthorn will have to make at least one change, possibly the return of ruck Lucy Wales. So Lucy Wales could come in this week, which will negatively affect Luke, which sucks. Tamara Luke, which is a bit unfortunate. Was hoping that she would have free reign, but alas, Tamara Smith, Lucy Wales could be back. While Carlton has lost defender Daisy Walker. Phoebe McWilliams likely to make her return from a calf injury. Paige Drudgeon, this one no one has her. Isadora McLean, no one has her, I don't think. Yeah, not too many. Draftee Caitlin Miller. So Miller is probably could play this week. Caitlin Miller. A 322k forward. So there you go. So that's another person potentially playing this week as a rookie. Caitlin Miller, 322k forward for the Guis. North Melbourne brought in last week's emergencies. Unlikely to make any change, which makes sense. Darcy, Gutridge, Deanna, Jolliffe, and Nat Exon have been added to St Kilda's squad for its clash against the Bombers. DeBerry looks likely to return. Straight swap for Elliot Bennett and Riley Wilcox also in the mix after withdrawing late. And there we have it. These are the ins and the outs. Chelsea Randall playing a 50th game, but I'm pretty sure a lot of people who still have her are looking to get rid of her maybe. Bush is in for Howarth. Humphries in for Bartlett. Symes in for Levicki. Poppy Bolts is one who is very relevant for people who want her. Who else? This is Sunday extended teams. We know Bennett's going to be out with an injury. Tamara Smith in Wales, Elliot, Everest, and Deed. So this Wales selection is going to hurt Tamara Luke. Unfortunately, I think I might still have to go with her. Collingwood, no one of note has been dropped, which is important. In Kiara Bowers is in. Praise the Lord. Come on, Kiara. You got to back. You got to, come through for us. Come through for us who have held on to you. No one out there. Pound is in for those who are hoping to start her this year. She is going to be in the side this week. Obviously, a lot has to change here because it is the Sunday games and nothing of relevance, I don't think. How was the US? It was great, Jono. It was great. It went so fast. Can't believe I'm back so quickly, but hey, it was a wonderful time. Good, time flies when you're having fun. So, but it's good to be back and it's good to be live streaming and talking to you guys. I did miss that when I was over there due to the time difference. Ben, how's it going? Best defense under 400k to get in. I have Scanlon coordinate, and I think I'm getting Mule at the moment, but was maybe thinking A. McDonald. A. McDonald is good. A. McDonald, I like what I saw from her when I go to DFS Australia, AFLW, player summary, close this, and we type in McDonald. Is it Amy McDonald? Sorry, no, I think it's Abby McDonald, I think. There we go. Type in Abby McDonald. And she had a decent game. You know, she 53 points, 61 TOG, probably is a bit lower. Wasn't a big fan of that. 4 marks, 11 disposals, 10 kicks, which is pretty good. She has a really good 10 kick to handball ratio. She had 4 marks, 2 tackles, and 1 free fall. So look, it wasn't bad for a starting game for her. It was a smashing, it was a demolition, and yet she still scored 53, which is not too bad. She started on the interchange, but you can see she didn't really venture forward of center a lot. So, defensive 50, defensive mid. So she was definitely playing behind the ball, and for us to still score a 53 in what was one of the biggest smashings that we've seen in a long time, that's really impressive. So, not against McDonald at all. I know you've also mentioned Kiara Mueller. Also, not against her playing in the back pocket, 52 points. Yes, she had 82% time on ground, which shows that she's fit, that she's capable of running out games a lot better than McDonald is. And especially with reduced rotations this year, I think having fit players is going to be really important. 11 touches, 4 tackles, which is great, and a free fall. So, look, I'm not against either of those two women, to be honest. I like someone with better time on ground. So, look, despite having better time on ground, she scored less points. So maybe you can say that this person, that Mueller's on-field output is not quite as good as McDonald's. For McDonald to score, like I said, for McDonald to score as she did, 53, 61% time on ground, and the ball was hardly back there, 53 was really impressive compared to a 52 on 82% time on ground. So, look, it's a 50-50 call, to be completely honest with you. I just think McDonald's was able to give out a lot of points for not much. So there's definitely an upside, I think, in that. And especially if the game is closer and she's up against a really tough opposition, she could get more supply, which means more points. That's sort of what I'm thinking. Ben, hope that helps. So annoying, 5 p.m. tomorrow is team extended teams and games at 5 p.m. That is very annoying, Causa. Absolutely, I agree with you. More teething problems to come out of the AFLW. Hopefully they can get that sorted. It's a national competition, god damn it. Be more professional. Is Nanskawan playing? Yes, she will be playing. If I come here to the matches, to the fixture, and we scroll down. Now, again, it is Sunday, which means extended list, which means that the lineup isn't cemented. But when we come here, she is here on the interchange bench. It's tough. It's tough. Can't predict the future. But look, she had a terrific game on the weekend. So you'd imagine that she'd back it up this week. Why would she be dropped in a winning game where she played sensational? It's hard for her to be dropped, to be completely honest with you. So I think she'll continue to play. You're welcome, Ben. Anytime, mate. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, I think I'll call it a stream now at 6:46 p.m. Thanks, guys, so much for coming on. Going to be really excited to watch this game tonight with bated breath. Hopefully Melbourne can get the win. I'm just kidding. Not really. But yeah, hopefully we see a cracking game of football. Hope you all enjoy and have a wonderful weekend. It was great to talk to you guys. Best of luck to all of you in your tipping, if you still do tipping in your AFLW fantasy, if you're doing that as well. So hopefully you guys have a sensational weekend, and we look forward to seeing you all on Sunday night for the fan cams to talk over the football that we all witnessed this week, which should hopefully be super exciting. So I'm sorry, Jono, I can't back you in here. I don't think the Saints are going to get the win. I think it's going to be the Giants, but hey, happy to be proven wrong and happy to talk to you on the Sunday. Hopefully you guys get the dub. Of course, there was an injury cloud on her. So, all right, if that's the case, only time will tell. Only time will tell between now and then, Causa. But yeah, we'll call it a night. Enjoy the evening, guys. Best of luck with everything, and we look forward to seeing you on Sunday. Bye.